My wife and I are watching this documentary right now. It's new on Netflix. I'm sure everyone's watching it. But it's basically about this girl that joins this organization, and her parents freak out and they think that she's joined a cult. And as far as we've seen, it just turns out to be this sort of weird, sketchy church that's trying to make money off of the girl. But the thing that struck Dana and I both so strange was the behavior of her parents. Both of them are just totally beside themselves that their daughter has left home and has limited communication with them. And it's so codependent and gross, and just both parents just feel like children who have been abandoned or something by their child. It's weird. And both of them are so wrapped up in the drama of it, which is obviously their unresolved childhood trauma stuff rising, that they call a child trafficking hotline. And the woman on the hotline says, you know, there's not much that we can do here because your daughter's an adult. She's like in her early 20s or something, you know? And then one of the parents says, you know, tearfully, like, oh, but we're her loving parents and we just want to know how we can get her back. And so the people on the hotline basically say to the parents, you know, the best thing that you can do right now is just to let her do her thing, right? Just, she's an adult, she has agency, let her be free. And so then when she figures out that what she's doing is stupid, which it is, she'll, you know, reach back out to you guys. But at that moment, I really couldn't help but think to myself, man, this poor girl, she's trapped in between two cults. Do you know why we're so obsessed and hyper-focused on cults these days? If you haven't noticed, there's so many documentaries about it. It's because if we were born into a family system or into a culture where emotional repression is the status quo, we're in a cult by default. Let me explain that by listing some of the manifestations of emotional repression. Repression breeds codependency, role-playing, trauma bonding, deficiency stories, power struggles, self-betrayal, self-sacrifice, unwarranted guilt, scapegoating, hero worshiping. It basically arrests our development, and it keeps us in this childlike state where we're desperately seeking love and acceptance through suffering. It's gross. I've been through it. I call it the cult of repression. And it actually helped us develop the Killaby inquiries, which are tools that aid us in deprogramming from all the shitty stuff that I mentioned earlier, reversing repression, and coming back into our power again. You could also call it growing up. If this resonates and you're interested, visit repressiontest.com.